Hi guys, so this video we are going to talk about types of potentiometers, mainly used in guitar electronics, in guitars, pedals, amplifiers, right, and how these behave when used in a certain application, and also what to choose when we look at replacing, let's say, potentiometers in a guitar tone and volume knobs, or potentiometers, or even in guitar amplifiers. So by looking at this particular post-it here, you can see there are two types. There's a linear and there's an audio potentiometer, also called as logarithmic potentiometer, right? So in a linear potentiometer, let's say, if the knob was at 0, and then if you had to move from 0 to 10, you would notice that the effect of the potentiometer in a linear potentiometer would be maximum between 0 and 3. So the moment you move from 0 to 3, it would have the maximum effect on, be it volume or whatever it is doing, whatever it is meant to do in that particular circuit. And from 3 to 10, it would pretty much be flat. It would not have a lot of effect. It would just be just be constant. That's a linear potentiometer. Now in an audio potentiometer, you would see that if this is 0, from 0 to 7 it would have a gradual increase, and from 7 to 10 it would not have much of an effect in the circuit, right? For example, if you look at your guitar volume, right, from 0 to 7 it might have the most effect, and then from 7 to 10 it would have pretty much no effect. So imagine if you had a linear potentiometer as a volume control in your guitar, it would do its maximum between 0 to 3, and then after that it would just kind of flatten out. So there would be no usage, there would be no effect from 3 to 10 on the volume knob. So this kind of is important when you are looking at deciding the kind of potentiometer you want, right? For example, if you use a linear in volume control, that's not how our ears perceive volume. When we work on a volume control, when we turn the knob, we expect it to gradually increase, not just increase between the first few notches and then stay flat all the way up to 10, because it doesn't serve the purpose, right? For example, if you're playing live, and then if you had to you would want to have maximum control over your volume control or the tone control. So which is why in majority of guitars you would see it's all audio potentiometers that are installed. And in some amplifiers, so let me take an example of the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 3. They corrected this in Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 4, but in Hot Rod Deluxe 3 it had a volume control on the clean channel, which would do just this. Between 0 and 2 or 0 and 3 it would have the maximum volume bump, and after that it would not increase the volume. It would just kind of be flat and just remain that way. That's because it had a linear volume control. For example, if you had the same amp and had an audio port in it, you would see the maximum effect over there. So basically it would not just jump in volume after 0 to 2, between 0 and 2. It would jump in volume gradually between 0 and 7, or maybe even 8, depending on the quality of the potentiometer, and then it would kind of then even out till 10. So that's a very important thing, and that used to be one of the common mods in a Hot Rod Deluxe 3 amplifier, where people used to remove this volume control from a linear, replace it from linear to an audio potentiometer or a logarithmic potentiometer, and that fixed the sudden volume jump, because that's a 40 watt amp. That's a really loud amp. There are several uses of each of these types of potentiometers in different applications. Now I just want to also kind of quickly explain how to find out whether your potentiometer is logarithmic or audio or linear, right? So if you look at this designation over here, so it says 10A 500K. So 500K is the value of this potentiometer. When you can check that between between this and this lug number 1 and 3, the outer two lugs in any potentiometer. If you have a multimeter, you would be able to set it in resistance mode and find out the value of that specific potentiometer by connecting the two probes to these two lugs. Now this is a 500K. You would also commonly find 250K in single coil bass guitars, and 500Ks in humbucker based guitars mostly. And what you see here, which is A, is audio or logarithmic. If you see something like B 500K, that is a linear potentiometer. If you see A 500K, that's audio potentiometer. So audio potentiometer, this type over here, this potentiometer is audio, and then linear it would just have a different designation. And like I explained, the properties and the way it behaves in a particular circuit would be the way I just explained. So hope that explains and hope that helps in understanding the different types of potentiometers and how they behave in a certain application. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.